Today is Friday, December 4th. Welcome to this edition of Nevada County Now. Today's episode we're talking continued surge, new state restriction, mental health, and more. Hello and welcome to Nevada County Now. I'm your host, Cole Pettit. We've continued to see a substantial increase in COVID-19 cases. Since our last report, we've seen an increase of 354 COVID-19 cases, bringing our total to 1,517 confirmed cases. 408 cases are currently active, with 17 hospitalizations. The death toll has jumped from 9 to 15. 5 of these additional deaths were reported just yesterday. In a press release, Nevada County Public Health says 4 of these deaths are related to COVID-19 outbreaks in local skilled nursing facilities and elderly residents who live there. And the other was an older adult not affiliated with a skilled nursing facility. With widespread community transmission in Nevada County, outbreaks of COVID-19 in our skilled nursing facilities and other vulnerable populations become more and more likely and more difficult to contain. These tragic deaths illustrate the importance of our individual actions as members of our community. We know what it takes to protect our community and our most vulnerable family members and neighbors. Practice social distancing, masking, hand washing, and minimizing social mixing between households. Even if you are mildly symptomatic, please stay home and don't assume it's allergies or a cold. Yesterday, California introduced a regional stay-at-home order for counties whose regional hospital systems fall under 15% ICU capacity. Although Nevada County is not immediately placed into a stay-at-home order due to regional hospital capacity, the Greater Sacramento Health System is projected to fall below 15% ICU capacity in early December and would move Nevada County into a stay-at-home order for a minimum of 3 weeks. As of yesterday, the Greater Sacramento ICU capacity is listed at 22.2% remaining. It is projected we will reach the 15% threshold within 1 week. Again, should we find ourselves under this regional stay-at-home order, it would be in effect for 3 weeks. It instructs Californians to stay at home as much as possible to limit the mixing with other households that can lead to COVID-19 spread. It allows access to and travel for critical services and allows outdoor activities to preserve Californians' physical and mental health. Indoor and outdoor playgrounds, indoor recreation facilities, hair salons and barbershops, personal care services, museums, zoos and aquariums, movie theaters, wineries, bars, breweries and distilleries, family entertainment centers, card rooms and satellite wagering, live audience sports and amusement parks would all be closed. Other sectors can still be operational, but will have additional modifications in addition to 100% masking and physical distancing. If you're a non-essential worker, there are a wide range of circumstances in which you may still leave your home or other place of residence. For example, you may leave your home to work at any business or other entity that is allowed to open, to engage in in-person worship and protest activities consistent with public health directives, to patronize local businesses, or to care for friends or family members who require assistance. You may also leave your home with or without a specific destination in mind, for example, to walk your dog, to engage in physical recreation, or simply to get some fresh air, as long as you maintain physical distancing and comply with any other applicable public health directives. For more information on the regional stay-at-home order, visit covid19.ca.gov. And remember, if you're experiencing symptoms or have had contact with someone who has tested positive, please remember to stay home and limit your interactions in public and schedule a cost-free COVID-19 test at lhi.care/COVID testing or call 1-888-634-1123. And if you've tested positive or are a close contact of someone who has tested positive for COVID-19, there are important steps you can take to help limit the spread further into our community. Because of the large number of positive COVID-19 cases in our community currently, those with a positive COVID test may not hear from the Public Health Department. If you've tested positive for COVID-19, please follow the isolation guidance and share the quarantine guidance with your close contacts. Both the isolation and quarantine guidance, as well as the most current COVID data, can be found at mynevadacounty.com/coronavirus. With these new stay-at-home orders looming and the long winter months in store, mental health issues could be exacerbated. Sonora Slater decided to look into this issue and find out what you can do to take care of yourself and those you care about. Let's see what she found out.
Thanks, Cole. Seasonal affective disorder, also known as SAD, seasonal depression, or winter depression, can cause people to have negative mood changes during fall and winter months, and especially during January and February. According to psychiatry.org, SAD has been linked to a biochemical imbalance in the brain prompted by shorter daylight hours and less sunlight. As we head into winter, the impact of mental health issues such as SAD in our community and beyond are compounded by other unique stressors of this year, from financial anxiety and deprivation of social contact resultant of the pandemic and lockdowns, to political tension. Mental health alone is important, but even more so as it is in many ways directly tied to physical health, something clearly in high concern during this period of time. According to an article published on HHS.org, the official website for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, regular social interactions are important to a person's mental and physical health, resilience, and longevity. It even went so far as to state that loneliness can be as much of a threat to a person's health as smoking, obesity, or substance abuse. Symptoms that can stem from a lack of human interaction include high blood pressure, sleeplessness, anxiety, depression, and potentially increased hormone levels that contribute to weakened immunity, increasing the risk of diseases. According to a morbidity and mortality report from August by the Center for Disease Control, symptoms of anxiety disorder and depressive disorder increased considerably in the U.S. during April to June of this year, as compared to the same period in 2019. Of the 40.9% of respondents to the survey who reported at least one adverse mental or behavioral health condition, 30.9% reported symptoms of anxiety disorder or depressive disorder. 26.3% reported symptoms of a trauma and stressor-related disorder related to the pandemic, and 13.3% reported having started or increased substance use to cope with stress or emotions related to COVID-19. So if social interaction is vital to health, but physical distancing is also necessary, how can those struggling with their mental health get the help they need? Creative, safe socialization is one answer. Whether it be meeting outdoors and staying distanced, or utilizing technology to organize a video call, attend a virtual club meeting, or watch a movie with a friend, any interaction is better than none. Connecting with family and friends through any means can abate feelings of loneliness and isolation. If you are feeling depressed or anxious for any reason, there's also local professional help available for you. Nevada County Behavioral Health is offering mental health and substance use services to new and existing clients, primarily remotely via telehealth solutions. A New Day, located in Nevada City, offers affordable counseling services to families, couples, and individuals. And Sierra Therapy Center offers teen therapy and couples counseling to Grass Valley, Nevada City, Auburn, Truckee, and surrounding areas. Reach out for help if you need it, and make sure to take measures to prioritize your mental health during this time just as much as you do your physical health, especially because the two aren't as disconnected as you might think. Back to you, Cole.
Thanks, Sonora. Color Me Human is a new nonprofit here in Nevada County. They've recently launched a crowdfunding campaign they're calling Fund the Fight for Racial Justice in Rural America. This nonprofit aims to celebrate and elevate the voices, talents, and experiences of Black, Indigenous, and people of color. They state that people of color in a rural community face distinct challenges, such as invisibility, erasure, isolation, along with subtle and not so subtle reminders that they don't belong here. 100% of your support from this crowdfunding campaign will go directly towards establishing Nevada County's first Black, Indigenous, and people of color community garden to increase access to fruits and vegetables in collaboration with local food advocates, building curriculum for a social justice youth leadership program in partnership with the California Heritage Indigenous Research Project, or CHIRP, offering educational opportunities to help in building racial literacy, develop a community relief fund for families and individuals of color, and further efforts to work with county departments to build racial equity at systemic levels. To contribute to fund the fight for racial justice, visit their website, colormehuman.org. In mid-November, CAL FIRE Unit Chief Estes lifted the burn suspension in Nevada, Yuba, and Placer counties. Nevada County residents are now able to burn dry green waste on permissible burn days. While pile burning is a necessary and efficient tool which helps residents develop defensible space and implement good land stewardship practices, from November 16th through December 3rd, there have been 7 vegetation fires in Nevada County which required fire department action because of an out-of-control burn pile. As residents wisely use these cooler, wetter months to make their properties more resistant to wildfire, Nevada County Office of Emergency Services has a few tips and tricks to share to keep everyone safe. First, check with the Northern Sierra Air Quality Management District to see if it's a burn day. For Western Nevada County, call 530-274-7928, and for Eastern Nevada County, call 530-582-1027, or visit myAirDistrict.com. Maintain a 10-foot diameter around your piles down to bare soil. Burn dry, dead, vegetative material only. Keep a water source and shovel on hand. Always tend your pile. Check weather conditions and refrain from burning on windy days. And burn between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. for maximum smoke dispersion. The U.S. National Weather Service in Sacramento is forecasting gusty winds to increase Sunday into Monday as a dry system moves to the east. With low daytime relative humidities and dry fuels, these gusty winds could create elevated fire weather concerns for portions of the Sacramento Valley, mountains, and foothills. Confidence is low at this time in the strength and location of the gusty winds, so keep an eye out for forecast updates. CAPE, the Center for Animal Protection and Education, is a local nonprofit that works to save the lives of individual animals who are older or have special needs, and to educate people about ways in which they can change their own lives to alleviate animal suffering. Recently, they celebrated the 16th birthday for Rudy, one of their rescue pigs. We'll leave you this evening with a look at this celebration, and if you'd like to see more or help support their cause, visit their website, capeanimals.org. And remember, stay safe, take care of each other. We'll see you next week.
Rescuing farmed animals for decades, and pigs are one of my favorite. So when I saw Rudy when he was just about this big, I was convinced that he was a pot-bellied pig, and that's what I told JP. Miscalculated that one, didn't I? However, big or small, I have to say, Rudy is probably one of the very most wonderful pigs I have ever met in my life. And the fact that he's turning 16 today really speaks to what a wonderful, wonderful life JP and Cape have been providing him.
I've been fortunate enough to live with Rudy since he was very young. The first week that we had him, we thought he would do fine in the dog yard in our old house, which he did for a day or two. And then, faster than any of our dogs, he figured out how to use the dog door. We were in the dining room one day and we heard the clonk and the hoofs coming down the hallway, heading straight for the kitchen and straight for the refrigerator. Ever since that time, Rudy has been ingenious in being able to open any gate, latch, or lock of any kind that you could possibly think of.
Usually, most kids grow up with a family dog or a family cat, and I've grown up with a family pig, along with many other important animals. When we rescue someone new and introduce a new animal to the sanctuary, we've sometimes been a little cautious to introduce them to Rudy just because we're not really sure how the king of the barnyard is going to interact with a new rescue. Every single time, Rudy is gracious and inclusive, and I couldn't be more proud.
When we had just moved here, the first morning, we let him out of the barn. He went running down into the bushes. He came running back with his mouth loaded with sticks and grasses, went straight into his stall, and he started creating his home. When he first came to Cape many, many years ago, he was a little guy, 4 or 5 months old, And he was so cute and so funny. Everybody immediately fell in love with him because he's so social. He loves people. He is like a friend. I mean, we have such a fun time with Rudy. Okay, Rudy, it's your birthday, and here's one of your birthday cards. Let's open it up and see what this person said. Oh, 16. Here's your birthday present, Roots. A brand new rake.